my dad has diligently been working out with his trainer, Derek. Their weekly schedule hasn't really changed because my dad's been working with him for years now. What I've seen over the last few weeks is my dad re-energizing himself. It was this new light, this new energy about him that has been so awesome to see. And he's always been a natural athlete, super competitive, driven in whatever he put his mind to, and just seeing that side of him kind of come back again is just it makes me want to cry. Good cry. However long it takes, however quick it takes. I mean, my dad already kind of picked me up last week. That is my reflection for today. I'll see you at the park.
Hello, Uprisers! The day has finally come. The day that my dad and I finally attempted the Balancing Baby Challenge. For those of you who are just seeing this and confused as to what the Balancing Baby is, last year during the pandemic, my dad and I uncovered an old school footage of balancing on his hand when I was little. We posted this on TikTok and YouTube, and within the first few days, we reached well over 1 million views. It quickly turned into a fun bonding experience and found ourselves in a place to start training together. Over the past year, I documented some of the highlights of our training process and cannot wait to take you through our journey. Keep in mind, we are not replicating the Balancing Baby exactly because that is physically impossible, but with the help from my dad's trainer, we attempted to get as close to the old footage as possible. Thank you all for your ongoing encouraging messages throughout these months, continuing to root for my dad and reminding us to take all precautions. So before we get into it, I do want to caution to not attempt this at home. This is not professional advice and should be acted on at the user's own risk. All right, so let's start with introducing all parties involved. This is Derek, my dad's trainer for many years. Again, this is my dad. Born and raised in Los Angeles, he was a super athlete who played baseball, basketball, and was even a gymnast. His athletic spirit continues to radiate till this day, and fun fact, he has a goal to climb Mount Fuji next year, 2022. And then I'm Michelle, daughter, also athlete back in the day. Though I don't play any competitive sports anymore, the same spirit of dedication and drive transcends throughout my day-to-day work. Most of my videos on this channel shares insights and tips of what it's like to run a small business as a minority entrepreneur, designer, and activist. But here and there, I like to share some more personal look into my life, family, and friends. And so if you haven't done so already and like the kind of videos shared on this channel, please hit that like and subscribe button. I will appreciate you forever. And then lastly, shout out to Saúl. He is the editor behind most of my videos, editing and making all of my documenting as professional as possible. Okay, so let's get right into it. My dad and I thought it would be best to start a diagnosis day with Derek. We wanted to figure out where my dad was currently, body-wise, and also how much weight he can handle. We wanted to start this process slow so that we would limit any sort of possible injuries along the way. After the mat exercise and getting a better understanding of where my dad was at, we explored ways my dad can handle the weight standing up. We concluded that the best possibility of my dad executing this was by using both hands, keeping his elbows close to his body for maximum support, and to not overextend his shoulders, arms, and so on. It was too early to have my dad attempt this with my full weight. So by standing on a table and some help from Derek, we tried putting at least half of my weight and to see how my dad felt from that. And then after some time of gaining a bit more confidence, my dad and I tried it again. This time adding a little bit more weight and centering some of my weight by putting pressure on his head. The last thing we worked on was the best way for me to balance. Was it just using one leg? Do I put my feet side by side on top of my dad's hand? Or do I put one foot over the other? We tested various possibilities. Fast forward, we moved our trainings to the outdoors. One, because it was still the pandemic, and we're clearly still in a pandemic. We thought it would be better to train outside, and also an excuse to get outside, be surrounded by nature, and so on. We scouted some local places around LA and landed on this awesome location. Workout started with warming up my dad's body. We spent at least 30 minutes going through stretching exercises, working through the kinks and aches throughout my dad's body, and other necessary exercises Derek thought was needed for that day. After warming up, we decided to finally attempt our first try without the help of Derek. We attempted this several times for a few seconds at a time. For the last attempt of the day, we also tried balancing on my dad's hand from a ladder to see if that helped on the on and off process. Overall, I feel we were off to a great start, and even if we were to stop it at this point, I am so proud of my dad already. We have come so far and pretty much at a really good place. After several more trainings throughout the course of a few months, we gained more and more confidence and built up the courage to balance on one foot and left one arm even up in the air. We had a few setbacks during this time. With the pandemic fluctuating, it also affected the amount of days that we were able to, feel okay and feel safe continuing to train and exercise. And then also, my dad injured his knee a while back, and so his knee started to act up here and there. And so, tending to that, we wanted to hold off on some additional trainings. But after all of this, I'm so excited to share with you how far we have come since day one.
Ready? Got it?
Yep.
I'm not putting much weight on my dad's head. How did that feel? Yeah.
I am so proud of my dad. I appreciate all of the time Derek put in to helping us throughout this journey, and frankly believing in us, continuing to share his insights and wisdom to keep my dad healthy and strong. And lastly, thank you all for your patience as we have had to maneuver some setbacks and honestly just sorting through hours and hours of footage that we took throughout this journey. I appreciate Saúl for editing today's video and making this come to life. We celebrated with some yummy local breakfast shop afterwards. The best part, seeing my dad's eyes light up when we finally accomplished the Balancing Baby Challenge. This challenge wasn't an easy one, and my dad could have easily just said, well, he gives up. But he kept going with such positivity and strength until we felt like we accomplished the challenge. My favorite part of the journey was to be able to just spend a few extra hours over the months with my dad. Would love to hear your thoughts and other fun but safe activities you have done with your family and friends. Uprisers has always been about rising up together, and all I have to say is that my dad, at least in my eyes, is the ultimate upriser. Until next week.
Yeah.